So I just got back from the prison and picked up the book that I wrote that they apparently censored or whatever because the old broad working in the mailroom apparently had her own version, her own spin on stuff. So they say the book made it to Jeff City or whatever to be censored, but I'm not sure that I believe that. But anyway, so I'm looking at this and, first of all, I had a whole discussion with the lady in the mailroom because the book was sent to him in October of 2022. And he hadn't received it by December. So I called and anyway, she went in to telling me that it had to be read. So they were censoring it because it was about a local woman. Well, at first she doesn't even know that I'm the one that wrote the book, but she's saying it's from a local woman. And so therefore the book had to be read for whatever reason. So anyway, she goes on to say that they would not allow any books into the prison that glorified rape. Okay. So as first, I don't say anything at first. So then as she continues to talk, she says that the book had to be read. So I said, okay, how long is that going to take? And she was like, I don't know. And so then she says they had to censor the book mainly too because it came from it was not an approved book on their list. I've been going to this prison for almost 10 years. Not this one, but other ones too. But anyway. And I know that they don't have an approved list of books. They might have an approved list of distributors, but not a list of books, okay? So I'll go on and I'm letting her talk or whatever, and I don't say anything. And I said, wait a minute, hold up. You mean because it didn't come from an approved distributor, that's why you have to censor it? She said, no, it's not an approved book. I said, so wait a minute. You're telling me that you have an approved list of books? And she's like, yes, we do. I said, no, you don't. She's like, yes, ma'am, we do. And I said, really? So you're telling me that every book in your library is on the approved list? And she's like, yes, ma'am. We don't allow books in here that glorify rape or, trauma, whatever. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? I said, so you're telling me you've read every book in that library? And she doesn't say anything. And I said, I call bullcrap on that because, first of all, I know that all them books in that library have not been looked at. And so you're trying to tell me that every book that you got in that library, you're trying to tell me that there's no book in there that talks about rape? There's no book in there that talks about abuse? None of that? And she's like, oh, no, ma'am, we don't allow that in there. Okay. So then she proceeds to say, once again, we don't allow books in here that glorify rape. So that pissed me off. So then I said, hold up, wait a minute. Nowhere in that book does it glorify rape. Let's get this right, okay? I said, I'm the one who wrote that book. That book is about me. That's about my life. And I sent it to my husband, who already knows about my life. But I sent him the book because he wanted to read it. Well, she starts stumbling on her words a little bit. And she says, well, we can't, allow books in that glorify, rape. And every time she says that word, it just makes me even madder. And then she proceeds to say, there's guys in here that get off on that kind of stuff. And I said, excuse me? And she said, yes, ma'am. And I said, first of all, it's books like mine that they should be reading, okay? Because any of them in there that get off on that kind of stuff, they should be reading this kind of stuff, all right? So that they can see how their actions messed with someone else's life. My book was written to be an inspirational story so that people can see that, there's consequences to things that are done. They might not be found guilty. It might be swept under the rug. It might be whatever. But whatever you've done to somebody, it does affect someone else's life, especially when it's done as a child. And the fact that she just kept sitting there saying this, I had to ask her, what type of person are you? What kind of a freak? First of all, you work in the mailroom, okay? Your job is to check the mail. And then she proceeds to tell me that I don't have time to read books. I have to check all the mail. I have to do this. Excuse me. Because first of all, they stopped getting physical mail months ago. So, yeah, no, you're not checking nothing. You're sitting in there. You saw the book was from a local person. And I'm in that prison at least every couple of weeks. And you chose to pick it apart. And if you got glorifying rape out of my book, something is wrong with you. So then, I went on and I contacted Jeff City. And I told them exactly the experience that I got from this mailroom lady. They apologized for her actions, said that they, would deal with it. Whether they did or not, I don't know. And months passed. I reach out again. And then I get a response. It's still in censorship. It's still in censorship. Okay. Well, this week is when my husband tells me that he got the denial letter saying that it was censored due to the security of the institution. Please enlighten me on why my story is a security threat to the institution. Because it makes no sense to me. I'm confused. Really confused. But it's the way of the world. It's people like that work in the prisons that there will never be change. You get what you get out of there because of who and what works in there. Instead of being concerned about my book getting in there so that my husband can read it, you should be concerned about who's bringing what in there that worked there. Okay? So, before you want to question my book, question your employees. Because it's your employees that's killing an inmate at least once a week. But we don't talk about that. We don't glorify that. No. We blame it on them. We say they OD'd. And since we're on the kick, you want to talk about what each and every person wears when we go on visit. But you don't talk about the social workers or whoever they are, case workers or claim to be, that walk around in there on a daily basis with pants on that match their skin color. They ain't jeans, leggings that we're not supposed to wear. But y'all do what you want. And then you wonder why things happen the way that they happen inside the Missouri prisons. There you got it, folks. That's what it is.